And we're good to go.
Okay.
Enjoy class, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for putting up. We got a little bit of a late start, technological difficulties and the fact that I had difficulty getting up this morning. So I apologize for that. Welcome to Gentle Yoga through Gilda's Club of Rochester. So we're going to be doing this yoga at 10 a.m. every Thursday, okay, for the month of January. And so what I like to do is alternate between floor yoga and chair yoga. So the first and third Thursdays are floor yoga, and the second and fourth Thursdays are chair yoga, just so you know. So you can tune in, for whatever you're interested in. Of course, if we are doing chair or floor yoga, you can modify and do the opposite in your own home, of course. Okay, so it's just completely up to you, but I wanted to let you know how that was working, so you had a good idea. Karen is co-hosting this with me, so she's downstairs, letting people in and, making sure everything runs smoothly. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to yoga class. Please remember not to do anything that hurts. This is a very challenging time right now in so many different ways, and so bringing in a yoga practice, practicing a little equanimity, being strong and sturdy and compassionate amidst chaos, is a wonderful thing. Our meditation, our yoga helps us with that. Okay, so let's start out by just doing a little bit of breathing. You have the option to sit or lie down during this. It would be great if you could sit though, just because it lends itself to the little bit of breathing meditation that we're doing. I sit up on a blanket, so you can sit up on a blanket or in a chair, or whatever kind of cushion you have to kind of lift your bum up a little bit to make it easier to sit on the floor. You can cross your legs or lay them out in front of you. It's completely up to you. For today's practice, if you had some kind of strap, that would be great. It could be the belt from your bathrobe. It could be an actual leather belt. It could be any kind of necktie that you no longer use, anything that you can, lengthen. It'll help us stretch a little bit today if you have that, okay? Also, if you have a block or a firm cushion or blanket nearby, that would be great too for the end of class. Okay, so a block or a firm cushion or folded firm blanket. Okay, so let's start with the breathing. Sitting up, let's think of our spine as tall, but not necessarily rigid. Okay, so roll the shoulders back a few times. Make sure that your tailbone is not tucking underneath you back there, but rather lifting up behind you a little bit. Think of that tailbone, move the flesh of your back end back a bit. You can move your neck, do some gentle neck stretches, do whatever feels good to you today. Make yourself, warmed up a little bit by just moving through the head and the neck. And then as you sit, whether you're sitting on the floor or in a chair, think of the spine as tall and lifted, and think of your pelvis and your legs as rooted and heavy. So we want to be rooted and stable with the bottom part of our body from the pelvis down, and then from the waist up, we want to feel lighter and lifted. If you roll the shoulders up, back, and down and release them down your back, it opens up the front of your chest and softens the front of your body a little bit. So let's just, if you want, you can close your eyes or not. Let's just take a few breaths. And it doesn't matter how you breathe. Just breathe the way you would normally breathe. Remember during your practice today not to do anything that feels painful and not to do anything that your healthcare professionals have told you not to do, okay? Go at your own pace in practice and modify as you like, all right? So feeling rooted and heavy through the bottom half of our body, and lighter, lifted, relaxed through the upper part of our body. We have a strong back and a soft front. Just take some breaths. Think of our spine as kind of a metaphor for uplifting, for strength, for purpose. We can be uplifted, we can be rooted and grounded, We can be soft and compassionate. Inhale and exhale the breaths. You can take big, deep breaths if you like. And feel the body. Let yourself feel the body sitting. Feel the hands. Feel the feet. See if you can relax them, release them a little bit. Feel the face, the chest. Relax the jaw. Both uprooted, uplifted, and rooted, at the same time. Strong back, soft front. Feel the breath now. You can feel the breath at the nostrils or the throat. The chest or in the belly. Feeling the body breathe, that's all. Using a little bit of meditation to be mindful of our body and then mindful of our breath. We can also be mindful of our mind. When you get distracted and thoughts come in, different stories or replays or judgments, there they are. Name them for what they are and let them go without struggle, without tension. We acknowledge our thoughts. Maybe we even label them thinking. And then we let them go easily and softly. Like opening up your fist and letting the feather float away. Being mindful of what is your intention for practice today. The reason that you came to the Zoom platform, the reason that you took to your mat. Let's go ahead and open our eyes and move your body in any way that it would like to move. So, I'm a real big proponent of, if I feel like stretching something, I'm going to stretch it. So just move gently. And then in the seated posture, leaning a little bit forward so we can allow the tailbone to lift up a little bit more behind us. Kind of rock back and forth just a little bit. And that could just be the torso, just hinging, coming forward and back. And then we'll make some circles. You could do this seated on the floor. You can have your legs out. You can be in a chair, whatever works. Kind of make some circles, warm up that spine. Let's go in the other direction. It's really difficult to develop equanimity, to be rooted and centered in the midst of chaos, right? But our yoga practice and our focus on our bodies and how we feel and on our meditation can really help us with this sense of equanimity. So we can hold steadfast no matter what's going on, circling in the two different directions. Ooh. Awesome. So we're going to work a little bit on that spine today, on helping the spine feel better. Okay, so sometimes we all have stiffness or stickiness in our lower back or our mid back or even through the neck. So sitting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. We're just going to, keeping the chin parallel to the ground, just going to look over one shoulder and inhale to center. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. So just warming up that neck. When we think of our spine, a lot of us tend to think of our lower back. It's not just our lower back, right? We have issues sometimes with our neck or our upper back or the back of our shoulders, some of those tight muscles there, or weak muscles. And then gently lift the chin as if you were going to draw something with the point of your chin lifted up and back down towards the chest. So you're drawing a straight line a straight vertical line with the point of your chin. So nice and smooth. Lift and lower. So really use the point of your chin as if it were a marker and you're just drawing a line down and up. Or some people like to think of it as carving a space too with the point of the chin. Beautiful. And then staying nice and steady with the chin parallel to the ground. Inhale here, exhale, just bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And I'd like you to continue to roll to bring the head to look down towards your lap. Nice. Now I want you to roll back to the right shoulder with the right ear. And then back with chin to chest. So we're just doing the right side, not making a complete circle. Bring the right ear to the right shoulder and then the chin to the chest. Right ear to right shoulder, and you can bring the head up. Roll the shoulders back. Sitting up nice and tall with the chin parallel, you'll bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Nice and easy. Let everything relax here. And then gently bring the chin towards the chest. And then back to left ear, left shoulder. And back to chin to chest. And left ear, left shoulder. And back, chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. And up. Great job. Roll the shoulders once again. Now with the chin parallel to the ground. So you're sitting up nice and tall, reaching up through the tops of your ears. Place 2 fingers in front of the point of your chin. And then draw your head and your skull straight back behind you, moving your chin away from your fingers. So you may think that this causes you to look like you have a double chin. Nobody can see that. So don't worry about it. Good. And then relax. And then once again, move the chin away from the 2 fingers. So if I turn to the side, it looks like this. I'm going to move my head straight back and back to neutral and straight back. So I'm moving the line of my jaw straight back. I'm neither lifting my chin nor tucking it. Straight back. This strengthens those muscles. You have muscles in the front and the sides and back of your neck. We want to strengthen those so we don't just drop the head forward. Awesome. That's a great exercise to do if you stand up with your back to a wall. You can get the back of your hips to the wall. You can, so stand to the wall and then just move the back of your head into the wall behind you. That's a nice exercise, keeping the chin parallel. Okay, so we warmed up a little bit through there. Let's warm up a little bit through the shoulders. Fingertips here, inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Just warming up those shoulder joints, all those muscles around there. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Let's bring our fingertips behind our ears so we can open up our elbows away from each other. You can even think of moving the back of your head straight back into your fingers, right? Because we just practiced that. So this is an excellent way to open up the chest and to move that head back toward those fingers so you stay up nice and tall. You're strengthening up through the back body and opening and softening through the front body. Great. So now using the points of the elbows, we're just going to make some circles. Just kind of open everything up here. Circle the other direction. Just feeling the shoulder joints kind of open up and release down. Just bring the front of the shoulder joints forward and then bring your shoulder blades on your back together. Front shoulders come forward. Back shoulders squeeze back. So feel your shoulder blades squeeze back. Now feel the front of the shoulder squeeze forward a little bit. Shoulder blades squeeze back. And round forward. So you're opening up your shoulder blades and now you're squeezing them together on your back. One more of each. And release. Good job. Let's roll the shoulders one at a time. So kind of warming up a little bit. And then both of them. Great job. Okay, awesome. So just kind of got a little bit warmed up there. So now let's work down the spine. So for this, you're going to need to lay on the floor. We're going to do some pelvic tilting. Can you do pelvic tilting and tucking in a chair? Sure you can, but let's be real particular about where we're moving. So as I come down onto my mat, very gently, I come down one vertebrae at a time. My knees are bent, my feet are on the floor. So I've got my hand on my belly. So I'm thinking about my lower back. So as I inhale, I'm going to arch my lower back and my belly's going to rise up towards my hand a little bit. So I'm arching my lower back. I'm keeping my bum on the floor, my feet on the floor. I'm just arching my lower back so it's coming away from the floor. Inhale here. As you exhale, pull the belly way down and flatten your lower back into the floor. Inhale, tilt, arch your lower back away from the floor. Exhale, tuck and press your lower back into the floor. So feel your hips moving when you do this. Feel the front hip bones roll forward towards your thighs, and then feel the hip bones move up towards your chest. Inhale, feel the pelvis. It's moving. It's tucking and it's tilting. So just gentle movements here. You're rocking on the back of that pelvis. It's tilting forward and back. You're pressing the lower back. To have a healthy spine, it needs to be strong, but also the abdominal area needs to be strong as well. And we use our abdominals as well as some other muscles on the lower part of our body too, to help keep the spine in good alignment as we go about our everyday functional activities. So keep tilting and tucking that tailbone up and under. Nice little pelvic tilts. These are really nice if you get an achy lower back. It's great to do these. And then come back to the neutral position. So now your lower back isn't completely flattened against the floor, but it's not arched way up away from the floor either. So this is neutral for us, okay? Knees bent, feet on the floor. Let's inhale our arms up overhead if you like, or to the ceiling. And then exhale and bring your right knee in towards your chest using your hands. You can take your hands behind your right thigh. Let's circle the right foot in one direction and then the other while we've got it in the air here a little bit. You can point and flex. You can wiggle your toes. Just warming up that ankle a little bit. Gorgeous. And then place that right foot back down. Inhale the arms up or overhead. And exhale, bring the left knee in towards your chest, holding it behind the thigh or at the front of the shin, and circle the ankle in one direction and then the other. You can point and flex. You can wiggle your toes. You can do whatever works for you. My kids laugh at me because I have really big feet, and they say that my toes look like fingers. So I don't know. It's okay. I've made peace with it. Okay, so we're going to put our foot back down. All right, so now we're just going to alternate bringing a knee into our chest. And notice how your pelvis and your back feels. You don't have to do anything with your back, but just notice it. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest with your hands. And now we're going to switch. Put the right foot down, inhale overhead, and bring the left knee in. These are some of my favorite warm-ups. Why? Because they warm up the lower back. They warm up the back of the hips. When we're talking about health of our spine, our hips play a big part in that, okay? How much range of motion we have in our hips. Are they strong and flexible? Because tightness in the hips can result in back issues, tightness in the front of the hips or the back of the hips, or the rotators on the side can create some spinal issues for us. So it's not just abdominal strength and back strength and flexibility, it's also hip strength, hip flexibility. This affects not only the back and the hip joints themselves, but also the knee joints. So it's kind of nice. So I like doing this one. Now, if you want, we talked about abdominal strength. How about we inhale overhead and we exhale and we curl our spine to bring our chest a little bit towards our knee as we bring the right knee in towards the chest. So don't pull with your head. Draw your abdominals in like you're flattening your back into the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Put that right foot down. Exhale, bring the left knee in towards your nose. You can curl a little bit. Use your waist to do the curling, right? Press your lower back into the mat and switch. So this is all about curling the chest off the floor to meet the knee by pressing that lower back, mid back into the floor. So your abdominals are activating. You don't need to pull too hard with your hands or your shoulders. Go back and forth. Exhale, curl. I'm not I don't think that this curling motion is really the best way to strengthen your abdominals, but it is part of the whole, right? Your rectus abdominis, very long muscles through the front of the torso. Then you have your obliques, your quadratus lumborum in the back of the body. And remember, rest when you need to. If your neck or head get tired, that's okay. Rest down. And okay, once you're finished, just take a moment here. Rest, rest, rest. Good job, good job. So now we're going to do a little bit more for our back. We're going to do some bridges, okay? Bridges lift the hips up off the floor, okay? So feet are about hips width apart. Ankles maybe underneath the knees, the best that you can. So your knees are hips width apart, so are your feet, toes straight forward. Arms by your sides. Walk your fingertips towards your feet so you can feel your shoulder blades tucked underneath you. Press your palms down, and on an inhale, push into your feet, lift the hips up. And exhale down. And inhale, push into your feet, stretch your knees away from you. Feel the hips lift, the front body stretch. And exhale down. Just do a couple of these. If you're seated in a chair, you can just hold on to the back of the chair and lift your chest into a back bend. So basically just hold on to the back of the chair and open up the chest. And then once more, we press into the feet. So we're arching that lower back. And then come on back down. Nice, nice, nice. And just a few more of these bridges. Inhale up. And exhale, pressing through the heels of the feet, stretching the knees to the front of the room, press through the balls of the feet, hug the toes, and lower down. Great job. Okay, I'll open up my shoulder blades a little bit. So remember that I mentioned using a strap or something to help you stretch your legs, any kind of belt or whatever you might have nearby, okay? I'm going to bring my right knee in towards my chest and place the strap underneath the ball of my right foot. Not the arch of my foot, the ball of my foot. And then I'm going to press the ball of my foot against the strap a little bit. And I'm going to spread my toes. Now, here's the deal. You hold on to whatever strap that you're using with your right hand. This is your right foot. And you want to hold it up high enough that the elbow straightens on the right arm, but your back is still on the floor. That way, you can just let the weight of your body against the floor help you stretch your leg. And it's okay if your knee doesn't straighten. No one expects that, right? We're just going with how the body feels. So I'm just gently going to press the ball of my foot against the strap. I'm just holding on with a nice straight elbow and relaxing the back of my right shoulder to the floor. Beautiful. Very nice. Just spread those toes a little bit. Great job, everybody. This is a big stretch, I know. So if you want to bend your knee, give yourself a second and then straighten the leg again. Go ahead and do that. It's okay if you're trying to warm up that knee joint a little bit today. You go ahead and bend and stretch. Bend the knee and then stretch. You can do that, certainly. And then just hold this nice long position here. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to extend this foot out to the right side. So I'm going to turn my toes out to the right. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can hold the outer side of the thigh or the back of the thigh always. If you don't have a strap, it's okay. Just hold on to your leg. Okay, so I'm going to externally rotate my right toes to the right. I'm going to begin to extend my right leg to the right. It's only going to go so far, right? I'm going to keep anchoring down a little bit or being rooted with this left hip as I extend that right leg out to the right. Remember I mentioned that tight muscles, on the hips can restrict the spine and cause some issues. The same thing goes with your hamstrings and your inner thighs and your quadriceps. So these big muscles in the thighs also can affect your spine. On the next exhalation, hug your belly, squeeze that leg back up. Great job. Very nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this right knee, and I can use my strap or not. I'm going to take my right hand to the inside of my right leg and hold my right ankle or my right shin. And then as I bend my right elbow, I'm going to bend my right knee, both of them out to the right. So now the bottom of my foot faces the ceiling. You can hold your strap. You could hold the front of your shin or your ankle. You can hold the back of your thigh. So widen the right knee to the right. Let the bottom of the foot face the ceiling. This is called Happy Baby. This is one half of the Happy Baby pose. This is a big hip opener. And again, if we can get some more flexibility in our hips as well as strength, will definitely help our lower back be more healthy and just feel better overall. Take a few breaths here. Woo. Nice. Good job, good job. Just a few more breaths. And it doesn't matter how far you bend the knee down. It's okay. Just do what you can do today. Then when you're ready, you can release, bringing that strap off your foot. And take that foot back down, knees bent. Now you can go ahead and stretch out both legs and see if you feel a difference in the right hip and the right leg versus the left. You very well might. Or you, if you're seated in a chair, you get up and walk around and notice what difference you feel on the right leg, the right side versus the left. So, it's kind of cool to notice just a few minutes of doing this can really help you feel better. Okay, we have another leg. So both knees bent, both feet on the floor. Now I'm going to bring my left knee in towards my chest, and I'm going to place the strap across the ball of my left foot. Again, it's the ball of my foot, not the arch. And then I'm going to hold on to the strap with my left hand because it's my left leg in the air. So I'm going to hold on to the strap high enough that my shoulder still stays on the floor, but my elbow straightens. And then I can just relax, and that really helps me stretch the leg without having to use arm strength, without feeling like I'm pulling. I'm just holding on. Gravity is keeping my torso down, helping you hold the strap and stretch the leg and press the ball of the foot towards the ceiling. And if you want, you can bend the left knee and then straighten it. You can give yourself a little bit of that. I have arthritis in my knees, so I'm always moving my knee joints around, and that's okay. You want to keep them lubricated, right? So do what works for you. And then press towards the ceiling with both the ball and the heel of the foot. We want to make sure that your upper back is on the floor. Don't forget about the right leg. That foot is firmly on the floor, knee bent. It's rooted down through the back of both hips. So you feel the back of both hips on the floor. And then when you're ready, we're going to rotate out. So we're going to rotate those left toes out to the left. And we're going to begin to extend the left leg out to the left. Again, if you don't have a strap, just hold on with this right hand to the outer thigh so you can help support yourself, okay? So you don't have to have a strap for these leg stretches. But notice that your right hip wants to come way off the floor the minute you extend the left leg. So let's be a little more careful with that, okay? We don't want to roll all the way over to the left side of our pelvis. You want to keep some of the right hip on the floor if we can. You don't need to glue it or anchor it. Just let it be heavy and rooted. Try not to be tense. On the next exhale, you're going to hug the belly and the inner thigh up. Woo, good job. Time for a happy baby on this left side. So I'm going to bend the left knee, bottom of the left foot towards the ceiling. I'm going to reach my left hand along the inside of my left leg and hold on to my ankle or my shin or my strap. Inhale here, exhale, bend the left elbow to the left and bend the left knee over to the left side of your torso. The bottom of your foot faces the ceiling. This is the other half of happy baby. You may notice a difference on this side than the other. Very often we have a little bit of imbalance in strength and flexibility just due to the way we walk and the way we move, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, where you're dominant, if you've had an injury. So we are never going to be perfectly balanced. It just doesn't exist. So don't think that you need to be. Just see if you can get to know your body and understand what your body's feeling at any given time so that you know what you can do for yourself to create more ease, less suffering. I'm all for less suffering in every way. Try not to let that right hip lift all the way off the floor. Think of the spine as long and the pelvis as heavy and grounded. Awesome. I'm going to bring that leg in, take the strap off. Woo! Okay. I'm going to put the strap aside now. We don't need that anymore. Oh, let's just take a minute here. Ooh, feels kind of nice. We're going to do a little bit more. Okay. So we're going to do some work for our abdominals. Okay. So do the best that you can here, and you can definitely modify to what works for you. You place the hands down, palms down on the floor. I'm going to bring my knees up so my shins are parallel to the ground. You can feel your abdominals working already. So this is abdominal stabilization, where you can feel the abdominals from the ribs hug in towards the center. So you don't have to press your lower back all the way to the floor. You may need to if you feel you need that support, but just see if you can just hug in from the right and left sides of your waist, palms down and press down. Now you're going to point your toes, and you're going to alternate pointing a toe down. Inhale here. Exhale, tap the right toe on the floor. Inhale, the right leg back up. Exhale, tap the left toes. Gorgeous. And go back and forth. Now, if this is really challenging for you, you can keep one leg on the floor, one foot on the floor, and just tap the other toe and lift that knee. So just work on the right and then the left if you don't want to alternate them with both feet off the floor, okay? Because this can be challenging. But notice what you're feeling. Notice how the abdominals kind of grab and hug in. You definitely want to keep considering that hugging in from the right and left sides of the rib cage toward the center, kind of hugging in towards that spine. A lot of support here. You want to have some good abdominal strength. You can do this in your chair. If you sit towards the front edge, hold on to the back of the chair and then lift one foot and tap the toe and then lift the other foot and tap the toe. So it can be done on a chair, but it can be a little more challenging, so be careful. Nice. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Just a few more. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Great job. Bring both knees in towards your chest. You can rock a little bit from side to side. You probably felt this in the front of your thighs as well. That's part of the action of the hip flexors and the quadriceps to help you bring the knee back in towards the chest. Flexion at the hip. Circle in one direction and the other. Awesome. Great job, great job. Okay, so I have another one. This one's, I think, fun. But let's just stretch out a little bit more. So place the feet on the floor and lengthen your legs out. Oof. Nice. Reach the arms out. They call this stick. You can see why. Yay. Kind of tap a little bit. So reach out through the bottom of your feet as if you were standing. So the back of your heels stay on the floor. Toes lifting up, right? Reach the arms overhead. Make sure your neck feels okay. So nice. Now inhale here. Exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest, keeping the left leg long on the floor. Draw that leg in with your hands and behind the thigh. Now we're going to switch. Inhale the arms overhead. Extend that right leg out. And exhale the left leg. This can be done standing. So you can do this standing up against a wall if you're sitting and not lying down. Because one leg we want to be straight and the other knee we want to bring in towards the chest. So consider that straight leg, keep it active, drawing down into the floor. Awesome. And then just maybe one or two more of each. Go at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling. You want to, go with what feels good in your body today. Whee! So you're stretching the back of one hip and the front of the other, which I think is awesome. And then one more. Okay. Great. Okay, so we're going to do another abdominal strengthener. That requires a little, this one requires a little bit of hand-eye coordination, but it's not too bad. So if you want to watch me for this one first, that may be the right thing to do. I'm going to extend my legs out, right, and flex my feet. I'm going to inhale my arms overhead. Now, I'm going to bring my straight left leg, I'm going to use my abdominals, hug in the rib cage toward the center. I'm going to lift my left straight leg and my right straight arm, both my right fingertips and the bottom of my left foot go up towards the ceiling. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg. And then bring them back down. Inhaling. Exhale, I'm going to lift my left fingertips to the ceiling and my straight right leg up, bottom of my right foot towards the ceiling. Okay? Inhale and exhale. Nice. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Feel the abdominals. You can feel the strength there. Feel the muscles of the waist. Draw in towards the center. Good job. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time on each side, or rest if you had enough of these. Awesome. Great job. Great job. You feel a nice stretch. Bring the arms down, bend the knees. Yay. So now we're going to take these knees and these feet and walk them away from each other. So the knees and the feet walk away from each other. Inhale here. Exhale both knees over to the left. So you're going to feel a big stretch in the front of the right thigh and the right hip. You can have your arms out at shoulder height. Both my knees are
have turned over to the left, I can lift my right arm overhead. This will give me a nice long stretch through the front of the right hip, all the way through the right armpit. Now we're going to switch, bring that right arm down, inhale both knees up, they're still wide apart, and then exhale the knees over to the right side. So now you're going to feel a big stretch in the front of the left hip and thigh. You can reach the left arm overhead if you like. Now, you can keep the arms out to the side. You can keep them overhead in a Y shape. As long as the neck is relaxed, you can lift one arm. It's completely up to you. But let's move the legs. Inhale the knees back up. They're still wide apart. Exhale them over to one side. So you're rocking across the back of the pelvis. Inhale the knees up. Exhale to the other side. This is great because this further opens up the front of your hip joint and your quadricep. Another way to do this stretch would be to stand on one foot and hold your ankle, which you could do if you were using a chair. You could stand next to your chair, hold onto the chair, and then bend your knee and grasp the back of your pant leg or your ankle or use your strap. Just stretch the front of your hip and thigh. Just have to make sure you do each leg. And exhale. This is an important one. It teaches us that whenever we twist the waist, our pelvis and our lower back hang out together like best friends. The pelvis needs to move because the lower back doesn't twist very much on its own. It doesn't have that capacity. So the pelvis has to go with it. Great job. I'm going to bring it up. Walk those knees in. Yay. Beautiful. If you want, you can bring your knees in towards your chest a little bit, rock a little bit. All right. So one of the keys to back health is back bending, which I think a lot of people think is counterintuitive, but it actually is a wonderful thing. You just have to be gentle, okay? So let's bring our feet to the floor, all right? And roll over onto our side. So I roll over onto my side with my knees bent. Again, one of my favorite positions. And then I want to come back up so that I can turn over onto all fours. So I'm going to pull my belly button way in. So I'm really going to pull my belly button in and then use my belly strength and my arm and torso strength to bring myself up from the floor. Okay, let's move into the all fours position now. Now, if you're seated, you can do these sitting in your chair. These are cat-cow stretches. Notice when you place your knees under your hips are hips width apart. And then when you put your wrists underneath your shoulders, you feel everything in the heels of your palms. You would like the heels of the palms to line up with the top edge of the shoulder. And then spread the fingers wide and really hug down into the mat with the pads of your fingers, with the outer edge of the thumb, the base of the index finger. Your inner elbow creases need to look at each other. Beautiful. On the next inhale, you're going to lift that tailbone so you can do a pelvic tilt. Roll your shoulders back and lift your heart through the front of your shoulders. This is cow pose. The belly hangs down. You're arching the spine, so you're strengthening all the muscles along the back of the spine. Breathe. You're strengthening the muscles in the back of the spine and stretching the muscles on the front of your torso. On the next inhale, push into your fingernails and lift your belly way up towards the sky. Let your head relax down. Feel your tailbone drop down between your thighs. Open up your shoulder blades away from each other, rounding the spine up towards the sky, lifting the front of your waist into the back, and let's go back and forth. Roll the shoulders, inhale to the cow pose, letting that belly hang and that back kind of drop down, and then inhale or exhale up to cat pose, pressing through those fingertips. Then you can go back and forth, inhaling and exhaling, or you can hold each one for a few breaths if that's what you like, that's what you prefer. Remember, really think about pressing through the pads of the fingers, the big joints of the knuckles. Okay? Good. These are great. Whew. A great way to keep the spine healthy is to do the 6 different movements of the spine every day. All right? So we did 2 already as we twisted from side to side. Now we're doing 2 more in our cat-cows, and then we have 2 left. So come back to all fours now, neither cat nor cow. Okay, nice long spine, neutral. And let's begin to press with our hands a little bit to move our hips back towards our heels. Now you can go back and forth to get used to sitting back. Okay. If you're sitting in a chair, this would be folding or forward bending your torso over your thighs, but keeping the back nice and long as opposed to rounded. So this is a hip hinge. Nice. So here's the last one, hip hinge. So we're got a nice long spine. We're not rounding our spine. We're not sitting all the way back towards our heels. We can come up on our fingertips, or we can keep our palms on the floor, or we can even put our forearms on the floor. Depends upon how you're feeling. But what I'd like to do is walk the fingertips off the right corner of the mat. So you're stretching the left side of your waist. Breathe into your left lung. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe into your left lung. Keep your head between your upper arms. Don't let it drop. Don't let your chest drop. Keep your spine long, the hips reaching back. Inhale, walk the fingers to the front. Exhale, bring the fingers over to the other side. If you're sitting in a chair, you can sit upright and just reach your right arm up overhead and side bend to the left. So this is just side bending on the right and left side. Breathe into the right lung. Again, don't drop that head between your upper arms. Keep your torso nice and strong and long. And then come back to the center. Gorgeous. Okay, so remember I mentioned abdominal strength being an important thing for back health. So reaching those arms out, reaching the hips back. Here we go. You're going to inhale and then lift up to slide the torso forward. So now the shoulders come over the wrists a little bit. Your knees stay on the floor, the tops of your feet, or you can tuck your toes under. And you're using your abdominal strength, hugging the right side and the left side of the rib cage in towards each other. And exhale back. And just do that a few more. Inhale, bring it forward. Don't let the front of the hips or the heavy thighs drop. Keep the right, left sides of the rib cage hugging in towards the center. And on an exhale, move back. And just one more time. And if you want to do a full plank pose or see what that might feel like to kind of test your strength a little bit, or if you're feeling froggy, you can tuck the right toes under and just extend the right leg back, lifting its knee off the floor. Feel how your abdominals engage just from this. And then you can bring that knee back down and then tuck the left toes under and extend the left leg by bringing that knee off the floor, stretching out to the bottom of the left foot, to the back of the left heel. Good job, good job. And bring her down. Okay, so now we're going to come all the way to our belly, to the floor. So you're going to bend your elbows and lower down. Nice. Once you get down towards the floor, you need to widen your thighs apart a little bit. And the tops of the feet go down. Heels roll out. Slide the forearms forward so that your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders, approximately shoulders width apart, and palms down and forearms down. Keeping the pelvis heavy and relaxed, you're going to engage your arm muscles like you're sweeping your elbows back and just widen the chest forward. Just kind of gently press your heart forward. So you're engaging a little bit of those muscles in the upper arms to draw the elbows back. And then you're pressing the heart forward gently. So it doesn't look to most other people that might be, if someone was looking at you, it doesn't look like anything, but you actually are using your muscular strength. It's called isometric contraction, as if you're dragging your elbows back and widening your chest to the front of the shoulders forward. Just take a few breaths. This is meant to stretch through the front of the torso. Inhale here, and exhale, lower down, widen the elbows. Nice. Now you're going to slide your shoulders on your hands underneath your shoulders. And instead of letting your elbows hang out to the sides, we're going to draw the upper arms in towards our torso, draw the elbows in, and point those elbows back towards your feet. Think about the thigh bones, and think about pressing the thigh bones down into the floor and the tops of the feet into the floor. Again, isometrically dragging those elbows back, so engage that arm strength. Imagine that you were drawing your rib cage away from the seat of your pants to lift your chest just a little bit more off the floor. So it's not being done by pressing your hands into the mat. Keep engaging the elbows back, widening the front of the shoulders, lift, press into the thigh bones and the tops of your feet. Try to keep the neck free. You should be able to move it. Inhale here and exhale lower. So this is baby cobra pose. You have to engage a lot of muscles, but you don't have to lift very high, okay? So once again, the shoulders kind of roll back, the elbows squeeze back towards the feet, press into the thigh bones, the tops of the feet, lift. You want to think about wideness on the collarbone. If you want to challenge yourself, you can lift your hands a few inches off the floor. This strengthens the muscles all along the spine. Inhale here and exhale lower. And let's do one more, and it's up to you whether you want to do it like this or you want to put your forearms back for Sphinx. You choose, okay? It's a nice back bend, whatever works. I'm going to do a big back bend, so you don't have to do what I do, but if you want to look at it, you definitely can. So I need to really engage a lot of muscles here as I stretch my torso forward. Oh, I need to keep the front of my shoulders wide so they don't collapse. Inhale here and exhale lower. So that would be something that you would strive for, being able to do a larger back bend, okay? But it's very challenging, and if anything feels painful or pinches, don't even try it. Just relax out, okay? So laying on our belly, let's bring our hands underneath our head. Turn your head to the right or left and rest your cheek on the back of your hands. Each time you breathe, you're going to feel your belly push against the floor. Inhale and exhale. I'd have to say, if yoga's taught me any basic important thing in all the years I've been teaching it, it's to be able to get up and down off the floor. I've had a lot of active older adults that I worked with over the years, and they'd come to me and say, I want to be able to get up and down off the floor again. And we would do a lot of functional work with that. And yoga can help with that. Create some strength. Because you need strength in your abdominals to be able to do that. It's not just about your knees. Strengthen the back, strengthen the abdominals. Can help us maneuver our bodies up and down the stairs, up out of bed, up and down to pick something up, or just bringing the whole body to the floor. I'm going to place my hands underneath my shoulders and get ready to come back up. So I'm going to tuck those elbows in. I'm going to tuck those toes under. On an exhalation, I'm going to puff my belly up away from the floor. So inhale here. Exhale, puff that belly and press back. Great job. Awesomely awesome. Very good. So I mentioned getting up and down or off the floor. Let's think about that, shall we? And have a chair nearby if this is something that's challenging you want to practice. I'm going to inhale and exhale, and I'm going to pull my belly up in towards my spine so I can get this right foot forward, okay? Because this is the key here. And I can even place one hand on this leg, okay? So now here's the deal. If I want to get up off the floor, this back leg has got to do the work. It's not all this front knee. Like I said, I have arthritic knees. It's pretty bad. And so I'm very, very conscious about how I treat my knees. So if you have a chair or something nearby that you can use to help you with this, go right ahead and do it. Tuck those back toes under. And then what I want to do is I want to use the strength of my back leg. I want to inhale. As I exhale, I want to use the strength of the back leg. Walk that back leg in. Use the strength of the back leg. Push into the back leg. Okay? So it's about the back leg, not the front leg. So I'm going to try it on the other side. If I want to come down to the floor, standing here, I'm going to step the back leg back. I'm going to hinge, bending the front knee. I'm going to hinge, bring my hands to the chair next to me or to the floor, then bend the knee and lower down. So obviously getting up is usually the harder part. So we'll practice that on this side. We're going to use this. Maybe you have your hands on a chair over here. You're going to use these back toes, and you're going to use the strength of that back leg by pressing in, and then you can bring that heel down, walk up, push into the back leg. Don't think that the front leg has to do all the work, okay? So I'm going to bring us back down to the floor, and exhale down, and think about that back leg. Whenever we bend a knee forward, we tend to think about just that knee. So I think what I'll work on next Thursday using the chair is that leg strength to be able to move a little bit more completely. Let's bring ourselves to lying down on our backs on the mat, okay? So go ahead and lie down on your back. If you have that block or folded blanket or cushion, please get that. Okay, I'm going to grab a block myself because I didn't get one. And again, if you don't have a block, you could definitely use like a rolled up blanket or a firmly folded blanket. I have a blanket here. I could just fold that. So if you don't have a block, that's okay. Or you could use a book. That works really well. So let's lie down on our backs. But see if you can find something that you can use. Something kind of firm that you can use. Come on, back down. Woo. All right, to start with, let's bring our knees in. Rock a little bit from side to side. And I just like to do another twist. You can keep your feet off the floor or on the floor. Knees together. I'm going to bring mine in, arms out, inhale here, and exhale, bring your knees to one side. So if your feet are off the floor, your feet may be in the air. See if you can bring them down. It's okay if they, plop open a little bit. See if you can let the heart look at the ceiling. You can roll that right shoulder back a little bit or widen your shoulders. Going to feel a nice stretch here in that hip. Just breathe. You're doing great. You can even turn your head to look back over your right shoulder. Just keep the chin parallel. Try not to tuck it down or lift it up too high. And looking back at the ceiling, inhale here as you exhale, squeeze your inner thighs and your belly. Bring those knees back up. Or again, you can keep your feet on the floor. That's okay too, okay? Inhale here. We're going to exhale and twist to the other side. Over they go. And then see if you can get them to relax. So if you have a real difficulty getting the knees and the feet to the floor, take that blanket or block that I asked you to get and stick it underneath your knees. Okay, so that is an excellent thing to have. So that you can actually rest in this twist instead of you struggling with your feet and your knees off the floor. I'm a big advocate of restorative yoga practice where we use the weight of our body and the position that we put ourselves in and gravity to help us gently open up, kind of get to know and recognize our body so you can relax and roll back that left shoulder here. If you like, and with your chin parallel, you can look over your left shoulder and make this a total body twist. So the 6 positions of the spine that we practiced today were twisting, like we're doing right now, cat and cow, just flexion and extension of the spine, and then side bending, which we did in child's pose when we walked our fingers over to the right edge of the mat and then the left edge of the mat. So it's really great if you can get those 6 movements in every day. A little bit of cat-cow, a little bit of twisting, and a little bit of side bending. Okay? Look back towards the ceiling, inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the belly, squeeze your thighs. Woohoo! Oh, rock a little bit. Okay. So this one's easy. Feet on the floor. Bring your right knee in. Put your right foot and ankle over the top of your left thigh and spread your right toes. Widen your right knee to the right. So this makes like a number 4. But while you're holding this, you can do this sitting in a chair. You can just place the one foot and ankle over the other side. I'm going to, because I'm on the floor, I can stay here widening my knee, or I could do a little bit of rocking from side to side. Like I'm twisting just a little bit. Not trying to twist all the way. I'm just twisting a little bit. So if you were seated in a chair in this position, you would maybe turn your torso from one side to the other. Okay? So it's a twist. Okay. We're basically turning the hips away from the torso a little bit or the torso away from the hips. Right now I'm using my legs. If I were seated, I would be turning from the waist. My torso would be turning. My legs would be still. Okay? Awesome. Just a little bit of rocking back and forth across the back of the pelvis, or just twisting the torso. All right. And then we're going to switch this. We're going to bring the left knee in, place the left foot over the top of the right thigh, widen the left knee to the left. And you can hold here just by pressing the left foot against the right thigh and widening the left knee. You're creating a stretch here. If you're seated in a chair, you're really feeling it. Okay. So you can stay here. Again, if you're in the chair, twist your torso from one side to the other. If you're on the floor, you can rock your hips from one side to the other, okay? But you don't have to. It's whatever works for you today. And the last thing we're going to do, when I mentioned that you needed a block or you needed a blanket, the last thing we're going to do is what's called a restorative back bend. And this is excellent, very excellent. So we're going to do this one. It's very simple, very easy to do. We'll keep ourselves nice and healthy. Just rocking a little bit here, this number 4 position. Keep that left foot strong. Good. Awesome. And then uncross. Great job. Okay, so lying on the floor here. Knees bent, feet on the floor. I'm going to take my block, or you can take your blanket, whatever you have, your firm cushion. I'm going to press into my feet to lift my hips. And I'm going to place this block, or you could use a blanket or a firm cushion, underneath that flat bony spot right above my tailbone. That's called your sacrum. It's fused bones at the very bottom of your spine. and it's just above your tailbone. There's this flat bony spot you can feel. And that's where you would put your folded blankets, your cushion, or your block, okay? So not so much onto your butt itself, but up just above the tailbone, okay? Keep the knees bent, feet on the floor, relax the arms out. So you can see and feel what this is doing. It's creating a back bend. It's creating a nice, easy, gentle back bend. If you're in a chair, you can put a small pillow or cushion behind your lower back and then open up your chest and gently hold the back of the chair behind you. But on the floor here, it's a nice, restful way to just enjoy moving your spine into a gentle back bend. Think about your head. On the back of your head, right, your skull rounds, and then it swoops in. Like it's concave in there, right where your neck begins. So that ridge where the roundness of your skull sweeps inward, that's called your occipital ridge. And see if you can kind of slide the occipital ridge up a little bit so the chin doesn't tuck a lot, but it tucks a little. And just kind of rock across the back of the skull, just a little bit. Take some few breaths. If you're on the floor in this pose, and only if you're on the floor, you can also, if you like, do a little inversion by bringing your legs in and up towards the sky. This is very easy to do because I'm supported underneath my sacrum with this block, or if I had a blanket. So very easy to do. And I'm just going to let my legs kind of be like seaweed. Like seaweed is connected to the floor of the sea, right? Your thigh bones are dropping down and connecting into your hip socket. So my legs are kind of, I'm thinking of them as seaweed, free floating, just a little bit of movement. Some people just stretch their legs up in this. They like the way it feels. It's like being upside down. You can also do this against a wall. You can put your blanket or your block and scoot your butt up and put your legs up against the wall. You can definitely do that. Awesome. So it's up to you, how you do this. Whew. Now it's time for resting in Shavasana. So very gently, you're going to remove the block, right? Just take that out of there. Rest down and extend through the legs. Just kind of chill out. You can rock a little bit, make yourself comfortable. You don't have to straighten your legs. You can keep the knees bent wide apart and just knock the knees together. Okay, that's okay. Relax the arms out. You can put a blanket over you. This is Shavasana, and it really is the most challenging pose in yoga, as we don't like to rest sometimes. Like I got things to do, and our mind kind of keeps running. So let's just relax in Shavasana for a few breaths. And I'm hoping that after this Zoom session ends, that you stay in Shavasana, just feeling your breath move, feeling your body and how it feels against the floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let everything go. Relax the jaw. Take another inhale. As you exhale, let everything release against the support of the floor. Focus on any sensations in your body. Notice if you're warm or cool, or if you feel any pressure or tingling. With each exhalation, try to relax another part of your body. Let something go. Each in-breath is like a new experience. And each out-breath is the opportunity to let that go, so that you can have more experiences. Inhale, let in life. Exhale, give back to life. Let the body soften and relax. Please stay in your relaxed posture, whether you're lying down or whether you're seated. Just take a few more moments to focus on the feeling of your breath. If you get distracted by a thought, just say, oh, it's okay. There goes the thought. I'm good. And come back to feeling your body and feeling your breath. Your yoga practice and meditation, it's gifts that you give yourself, and you deserve them. In this day and age, any way that we can experience ease and comfort, we should. Thank you all for joining me today. May we all find peace, no matter what we are given. See you next Thursday. Namaste, my friends. Do some more meditation, keep resting, do whatever works.